Welcome back to another episode. Finally our clock turned up. We've got a top pigeon, one of the V8 eye pigeon ones. I'm just having a bit of a look here because it's a pretty warm day today. And we'll see how the birds are going with this weather. It's been pretty consistent, but they're all looking pretty good. They are molting pretty heavily, so I'm not getting them out for a fly very much. Maybe every few days, maybe just a little flap around, but they are molting very heavily. My whole lawn's covered in feathers. And we will have a look at this clock a little bit later on. I'm not setting it up just yet with the clock and all set up in here with the ETS, everything that goes in there. I'm not too carried away right now. We've got a few teething issues to get through with this, and then hopefully if Top Pigeon can help me with that, we'll get this all set up and it will be pretty interesting because I've never set it up before. So all the older flies are probably molting the hardest. So some of the, what are you doing? Very friendly, this one. This one's pure Vanderbilk as well, so interesting. We'll have a look at you in a minute. You're pretty friendly. Always try and lands on me, that one, which is pretty interesting. These guys are all looking pretty good. They are mostly molting. There's a few that might be on the front end of it that have already done it, but the rest of them are pretty close, which I'll get back again. All right, we'll be there in a minute. We'll have a look at you in a second. Yeah, they're all doing pretty well. There's quite a lot of birds there, which is really nice to see. Once this molting sort of finishes, then we're going to definitely look at starting to do some tossing, which will probably be in about maybe 4 to 6 weeks. We'll start considering it, and then we're pretty close to the season. Now let's have a look at all these little babies we've got in here. There's probably more on this side actually, I think, at the moment. Still opening this up for them, which is really good, mainly because I want them as fluent as possible and comfortable with this landing board when we bring them out here. That one there's a nice Vanderbilk as well. He's pure Vanderbilk, this one. He's actually really nice, so it'll be interesting to see how he turns out when it comes to tossing, but very clean, musty little bird. It's not huge, I'd say it's probably medium-ish. Very beautiful little pigeon, this one. The little friendly one, this is a nestmate to this one, I think, so this one might be one of the cocks, but he's looking really nice. Means nothing, but I like him. I like him. We'll see how you go when the season comes. And there's still heaps of them up here as well. They're all just enjoying that sun, and they come in and out as they want. I've been opening that up pretty much every morning and then closing for night time, and they just yeah, pretty good on now. As soon as I open it up, they all just jump up there, so it's a good sign, I think, when we start letting them out. Here's a little friendly one. She's nestmates to that Vanderbilk that we just had over there. There's a couple that way bred, and there's another one here as well, which is really friendly. Strange, these bulks, I think it might just be the way they are. They're just very friendly. You can see them. These are all actually brothers and sisters, full brothers and sisters. Very, very friendly. Always trying to land on me, especially those two hens there. I think they're the only 3 that we've got in here, and there's 2 on the other side. So you'll notice this little red checker here. This is one from Storm. Actually, I think the one on the left too as well is actually its nestmate, because I'll have to have a closer look, but it's looking like it. He's turned out pretty well. I'd definitely say that's a cock. I'm pretty sure a red cock to the hen, a blue hen, is going to give us red cocks babies. So I'm pretty sure this guy's going to be a male, but he's looking really nice. Not, again, doesn't really mean anything, but he's nice and muscly and healthy and good feathers, so it's going to give him a little bit of chance when the season sort of comes up. He's got a special ring on there as well, and here they all are. They're all waiting their turn to hop up onto my leg here. What are you pecking at me for? But yeah, the characteristic traits in these Vanderbilks is, I'm actually really impressed with it. We've bred quite a few. They are very aggressive in the nest, but they do turn out to be quite friendly, like these little guys. I do handle them a bit in the nest, but yeah, they do seem to really tame up quite nice. Actually, he's nice, this one. His father is the big Vanderbilk blue bar cock that we've got on the other side, which is down from Gold Dust. Gold Dust recently sold for, I think it was 90 to 100,000 Australian dollars. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to double check. But and again, doesn't mean anything. But beautiful little pigeon. Just gives you a little bit of a background on those birds. And The mother's side is more kettle based, so yeah, interesting. So it's just, this guy's never usually this friendly, but he's here. He's got a bit of weight to him as well too. He's got a lot of muscle in him. But very friendly. You got food in here. I don't know what you want. Normally they hang around if they want some food, but I don't know what they want. So here is that little red checker. Looking really good. We haven't really looked at that one too much, but turned out to be quite nice. It's actually like a massive ball of muscle, that one, especially still squeaking age. I only kind of just weaned him in, so it's pretty good. It's good to see. I want a muscly little compact birds for the short to middle distance that I'm working on. This is one of Shock's babies, paired into one of Leon Storm's daughters, and this thing's reasonably ugly, so it's probably going to win a race. Let's just put it down to that. It's got some freaky bright eyes on it, and pretty scruffy looking, but this thing here, typical Staffan Reed, pretty muscly, so we'll keep an eye on that one as well. There is a nestmate to it, but they tell you ugly birds win races, so maybe you win. And this is one of Leo's babies here, when we paired his daughter back to him and produced one of these, which is he's actually not bad looking either. So he's very Leo Herman's. He's quite big, well built as well. So they're all coming along pretty well. Quite happy how they're all turning out as well. This round that's in this side is, in my opinion, I feel like it's going to be much better than this, because this side over here there's a lot of collecting going on. Look, we've got you know, this black hen from Adam Archer. We've got a few Vanderbilt crosses to different Leo Hermans I brought in a little bit older. That's part of the reds, that one. They're part of all the troublemakers. So this side here, the first lot, I'm not expecting an overall lot of excitement out of these guys when it comes to race season. There's, you know, mixtures of everything in here. The old Mealy hen we had, that was her mother. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they go anyway. There's just a lot of mix and match in this one. Look, we've got Beefcake. Who else is in here? Your Father's gone. We got rid of him because he was naughty and causing some issues. And every baby that we bred off his father anyway was an absolute problem. I do have the same mother to that one, paired up to 83. The baby's over here. Let's have a look for that one. So here is the only baby that we've got from it. The hen only lays one egg. So this thing is, the mother's Herman Koosters, quite a well-bred Herman's Koos. You can see in the baby that this thing is like, this is unreal, this thing. It's going to be pretty exciting to see how this goes. This one's come from Adam Archer, the mother, paired up to 83, which is obviously my Leo Herman's, and a little bit of Storm in there as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how this thing performs. We did put that little special ring on there. And hopefully this little guy, I'm not sure if it's a hen or a cock yet, but you can see, look at this thing. It's got a really good form to it. So same thing, nice and muscly, healthy, nice feathers, and very alert. So that's all we can ask for. So let's have a look at this little clock that we've got. We've got the actual little bag that comes with it as well. So Top Pigeon is the brand of this clock. And they've got this cool little well-branded bag, which is good. I've got the power source in here, and also the clock sitting in here as well. I will go into more detail once we get the few little things ironed out with this. It's really neat little unit. It's got the nice screen, all that kind of stuff. And once we get sorted, then we can start setting it up. I've been having a little bit of a play with it, but definitely will look a lot into this, all the functions, and setting it up and doing training with the birds with it, and assigning all the chip rings. We'll do all that once, probably in the next week or two, hopefully. I've just got one little thing we need to iron out, and then I can get into it, because I'm getting pretty excited. I want to start making some videos with this. I want to start using it. I want to set up all the chip rings with the birds, and do a few test run races, do some training flights, and we can sort of work all that on this system. So I'm very excited for it. But yeah, thought I'll just give you a little bit of a sneak peek what we got. We got a full system, full club system. We've got the master club, antennas, all the chip rings, everything we need. So we're getting very close to setting up the landing board and all that. We'll have a quick little bit of a look out here. So what I've done, you've probably noticed that I've got a shed built here. I had some leftover materials from it. They ordered the wrong stuff, which actually worked out to be the same color that I use anyway. I use the Monument color, which I've used to paint that. And what you've noticed here is I've actually used that flashing to really tidy up these corners. I've done it on the other side too. We'll have a look. You can see I need to get one to go along the top there. I really want to tidy this loft up a bit, but the flashings are looking pretty good. Sort of just ties off the whole thing quite well. And I've done it around the back here too. I'm going to move these because they're kind of in the way. There's no one in there at the moment. You can see that I've got this one as well. I cut it all out to fit in around here, and then that travels all the way up in under there. I just left the original one there because it was tied up. And I've done the same up on this side as well. Pretty much had just enough to do those two sides, which looks pretty good. Ties in the corners a lot better too, so that protects them from the weather and gives a bit more strength, and just looks better as well. So you can see it's all set up there quite nicely. There is a few things I probably need to redo. I might need to replace these two sheets. These are new sheets for our extension. These are the old ones. Given it was all the wood supplies and that we had, the only ones we could find are these cheaper ones, which were not as good as quality as these. These have been used for quite a while and they're still good. These ones are actually bowing a bit, so you can see, kind of see that they've bowed a little bit as well. So if I can find some new sheets, I'll whip them up there, give them a paint. If not, then what I'll do is I'll just go back through here, roof-scree this down as best I can, and just silicon up that gap, because we do get quite a lot of rain that comes in this direction. One of the reasons I face the loft that way is to try and minimize the rain that comes in, and there's a few little spots we might silicon up later on, but you can see how much the birds are molting as well. There's just feathers everywhere, down feathers, flight feathers, but our little ventilation system's working pretty well, so I'm happy how that has turned out. And we'll just have a little bit of a look in here as well. There's not overly anything too much going on here. I've got the tigers and cock in here for the moment. I am just trying to shuffle around a lot of birds at the moment. Most of these high flyers will go in the near future. We've got a few eggs hatching in here too that we're going to have a look at. I've been playing around with my own mixture as well of pink mineral powder. I've been making this stuff myself. You notice it's not as pink as the original stuff. It's a bit whiter. With the whole, basically our state is so far away from everywhere. We had a flood, knocked out a whole bunch of infrastructure, roads and train lines, and I just can't really get any of this at the moment, so I've been making my own. Working pretty well. Birds are eating it, so I might look into that a little bit more. So maybe let me know if you want to know how to make this super powder, because it's a lot of ingredients, a lot of mucking around, but I might even show you guys how to do it. And what have we got in here? Let's have a bit of a look. A little bit messy in here. We've got feathers everywhere, we've got babies everywhere. So here's little Lucky down here, this little guy. So basically I was given one of these tie grizzles from someone, so I'm going to give one of these to a guy that really wants one. So I said to him, I said, if this little egg that I found on the loft floor turns out to be a tie grizzle, then you can have it. And you know what, it turned out to be a tie grizzle. So this one I'm going to gift him. Willie was super generous in gifting me one, so I'm going to do the same. I think it's important to pay things forward like that. And it looks like you got to look at the feathers in here. This is unreal. I'm going to have to give this a nice little clean out soon. So that yeah, I've got 3 good tie grizzles already, plus the adults, and I'm doing 1 or 2 rounds over another loft, but I'll show you later. We've had a single egg in here, and that one's hatched. So I'm not really doing, these are not race team birds. These are sort of just getting ready for the following season. They haven't hatched yet. We've got some over here. These are off Leo and the blue bar pied hen. They're looking pretty good. They are very dark little birds, which it's just the sooty gene that's in them, so they're looking pretty good. They this one's definitely ready for rings, so I need to get a ring on him probably today. And we've got yeah, some up in there as well. They're all basically for the going forward in the future, which I'm going to talk about shortly anyway. But not too much going on here. Like I said, going to get rid of all these tie grizzles. Keeping my tie grizzles, which are the ones from Willie Till, like the high fly tie grizzles. We're going to start moving them on eventually. I've just got too many birds. I'm trying to keep things simple now. And it's still hot. That's the main problem that we're having at the moment. Is that's why we're realistically not doing too much flying or anything like that. We've got heat. We've got a lot of heat. It's hot all day, and it rarely cools down too much over night time. So I do generally like to fly my birds in the afternoon because it's generally safer for them. The falcons have had a full belly. I have been flying them a little bit in the morning, not much, maybe 1 to 2 times a week, because most of those birds over there are molting really heavily, and I don't want to push them too hard, so I've been letting them rest a bit, but also giving them some extra protein in their food to try and get them ready, because they'll be getting close to getting ready for some tosses. And then we're just sort of getting all these guys ready to start letting them out, so these guys will come through later on in the season. Definitely a muck around this season. You're a bit of an aggressive one, aren't you, as well? So he's off the Tide Grizzle pair as well, but he's a blue grizzle. I call him crooked beak because he's got a little bit of a crooked beak. Let's see if we can see it. Just a tiny little bit on the end, you can see. That's a bit hard to see. But he's going to be interesting to see what he turns out. He might be a blue tiger. So that's all we're doing, getting these birds ready. I do need to build a new loft at some point. I want to condense. I've got 4 different types of lofts all around the place at the moment, so I want to try and condense them all. I do really want to keep the flock a little bit smaller next year, and we are going through stock birds at the moment, figuring out what I want to keep. A lot of the stock birds I got, I know a lot of people are like, oh, you need to test them first, you need to do this and that. I do agree, but a lot of those stock birds I've had for a very long time before I've been really focused on these goals, and now I'm more experienced and more educated on birds, and I'm more focused on that middle to short distance, then I'm reasonably confident in saying that some of those birds will need to go because they don't align with those goals. I am looking future planning and bringing birds in, like 1 or 2 key birds every year, but at the same time I want to bring in the very best birds that are out there that are performing in other lofts as well as the loft that they come from, but they need to be continually performing in lofts they go to, and they also need to be continually performing in one lofts as well. So that really narrows it down to a short and middle distance family that does it. It might lead me to importing a bird. It's pretty hard right now, but we may look at actually importing like a really super bird, but that might take a bit of time, and I might need to save a bit of money and stop spending money buying locally birds here. At the moment, a lot of these birds are just hand-me-downs, so that's how I've got them, but I really want to get something of my own and bring that into my birds. So let me know what you think about importing, if you've got experience about it, all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying I'm going to do it, but it might be something we need to do just to give us to that next level. And we got new lofts to build and all that kind of stuff. One super loft. But yeah, it's a lot going on. I don't want to bore you with all this talk, but we're getting there shortly. So stay tuned for that. I'll catch you guys soon.